Good morning. It's another beautiful week. Good to be with you again today on Summit. It's our first edition of the program in the week, and we are really glad to be here. Hope you had a restful weekend. My name is Jumoke Michaels. You're welcome. Banji, good to be
Good
back.
morning.
Good morning.
I'm elated, not for Nigeria, but for another country anyway, Senegal, the African champions. Even though we crashed out of the tournament, I was happy with the outcome of the tournament, particularly with the emergence of our Senegal, who has been finals for three consecutive times. But yesterday they actually lifted the cup, and I'm happy for it because they deserve it and they worked for it. Congratulations, Senegal. Well, I hope that they were able to take it to World Cup. To their meeting Egypt again at the elimination, that's the World Cup qualification matches. I pray they might, just as I pray that when Nigeria will be meeting Ghana at the World Cup qualifying match, the next one will emerge too. So Senegal and Nigeria will meet at the World Cup. That's my prayer. Good morning. My name is Banji Busari. You're welcome to Summit today.
All right, so outside of sports this
Yes.
morning on the program, we'll be looking at two national issues. First of all, we'll be talking insecurity and the dealing with Boko Haram sponsors. You know what the Minister for Information just said, that they have information on 96 financiers of terrorist groups of Boko Haram and the Islamic State of West Africa Province, that's ISWAP. All right, so that's that. And then we'll also talk about the Ekiti governorship primaries and issues arising around that primaries election in Ekiti State. So you need to just stay tuned with us today because it promises to be a very, very interesting discussion. And for the first segment of the program, we have joining us our friend, a public affairs analyst and attorney at law, Mr. Jide Ologun. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's our pleasure to have you. Insecurity, we'll continue to discuss it until we're able to stamp it out of this country. The recent revelation that 96 individuals,
Financiers.
companies were linked with sponsorship of Boko Haram. How did you receive that news? I mean, how did it occur to you? Knowing fully well that it's not the first time that we have been given information, vital information, that would lead to the arrest and prosecution of those behind the Boko Haram insurgency in this country.
The revelation has further placed a test on the effectiveness of the government in curtailing insecurity in Nigeria. Like you mentioned, almost a year ago, the Attorney General of the Federation came up with a report that about 400 sponsors of Boko Haram have been identified, and he further disclosed that the government was not in a hurry to name them, that they would be prosecuted. And if in almost 1 year you have not prosecuted them, then the big question should be, is either you are satisfied with the level of insecurity, or they are consultants to you, like one of the gunmen that invaded the home of Honorable Justice Mary Odini disclosed that he was a consultant to the Attorney General of the Federation. Because if you compare that with what happened in the UAE, 6 Nigerians were identified as sponsors of Boko Haram in Nigeria, and they were all jailed. 3 to life imprisonment, 3 to 10 years imprisonment with deportation, because they have zero tolerance for terrorism. You see, so, and when you look at the experience of Ghana in 2018, the herdsmen were having clashes with farmers in Agogo community in Ghana, and the Inspector General of Police gave his men instruction: shoot at sight. People are coming to kill you, you kill them first. And when the herdsmen realized the government was serious, they pleaded for a few days to move away their cows, and they left Ghana alone. Maybe they came to Nigeria. You see, so it's all about what you condone. And this is embarrassing to the world. The American government at the time signaled that one of our ministers could be a sponsor of terrorism. We covered everything up. He came out to say he used to be radical in thinking and expressions, but he's born again now and things like that. And he's still in office, handling a very prominent portfolio in the nation. Recently, Hush Puppy, a Nigerian, was apprehended
That's Abdurrahman Abbas.
Exactly, in the UAE, sent to America. He's in jail now. One of our super corps has been linked with that network of scammers. Where is the report? So, you know, in public relations, you talk about image and you also talk about reputation. The image is the mental picture you are trying to project about yourself or your organization. The reputation is about who are you. Who are you? I mean, we read the most recent report now is from the Financial Times of London, claiming that Nigeria is heading towards disaster. And Shehu Gaba is defending that the insurgency we have and the problems we have is because headers were migrating, they've been having clashes with farmers, and the banditry giving excuses, and that proliferation of weapons from Libya. I mean, we know Libya went through a major crisis, and of course, radicalized people and weapons. Okay, why did they not take the weapons to Ghana? I just mentioned Ghana. Why did they not take the weapons to Benin Republic? Why did they not take the weapon to Rwanda? So why Nigeria? So these are a series of questions we need to ask. But now that they have discovered more, it only proves to Nigerians that what Sheyi Gumi said is real. Sheyi Gumi said the government knows the whereabouts of the bandits. Yes, they have intelligence report. So, and that brings us to a very valid point. This government has capacity to restore security to Nigeria, but is the will there? And that's my question this morning.
Yeah, talking about will, is the will there? The Minister for Information actually mentioned 123 companies, 33 bureaux de change linked to terrorists, 26 suspected bandits and kidnappers, and 7 conspirators are those that have been identified already. Now, for them to come to the public and make these specific announcements, even though the names were not mentioned, you would think that you say, okay, these are the companies, these are the names of the bureau de change and all that. But that wasn't done. But for the Minister of Information to come all out to make this kind of an announcement, do you not think that they would definitely make prosecutions?
In an ideal situation, you expect that there should be prosecution.
You don't even want to give a benefit of a doubt.
Not, you see, there is what we call precedence in law. You profile. What I'm doing here now is content analysis. I am worried. The governor of Kaduna State came out to say, on the average, 9 persons are killed or kidnapped on a daily basis in Kaduna State. The figures are there. And that the latest now is that Kaduna may be overtaken by these terrorists because they are advancing because of the bombardment. But let's go back again to research. There is a report, and our wonderful audience may want to go and check. I think on the 3rd of December 2016, where Governor Nasir El-Rufai disclosed that he went paying the violent Fulanis in the Sahel region with state funds, maybe with his personal funds, so that they will not be killing people in southern Kaduna as a reprisal. Because when they were migrating, seeking for pasture for their cows, they were caught by the post-2011 political violence in Kaduna. Some of them were killed, their cattle rustled, and they decided to retaliate. When hundreds were killed in Benue State, within the first 3 days of a particular new year, the president started preaching against reprisal attack. What about the aggressive attacks? I mean, let's, you know, I mean, we have heard reports, we have listened, we have done. And so, if this government is interested in being faithful to the Constitution that says in Section 14 subsection 2, Nigerian Constitution 99 that's amended, that says that the security and the welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. Let them rise up and deal with insecurity. If not, history is writing the narratives of this regime. And when historians and generations to come begin to read, they will read that at a time in Nigeria, about 9 people are killed on a daily basis, about 40-something slaughtered, you know, farmers slaughtered in Borno State, you know, some marketers in Sokoto killed, you know, railway line, portion of it between Kaduna and Abuja blown off, that some terrorists had the facility to bring down fighter jets, that a jet even disappeared. You know, we read about all this in history.
Okay, let's look at the implications of government ignoring this latest information that is on our table now. Recently, the governor of Borno State, Professor Zulu, actually did warn that if ISWAP is not dealt with decisively, that they might overrun Nigeria in the question of time. That's this stipulated in it. It's an ominous signs that things are not working well. And if you look at against the background of how much this government commits to fighting insurgency yearly, depriving Nigerians what they should get in terms of development investment, do you think government can afford to ignore this latest revelation?
Mr. Banji, you know, sometimes I'm tempted not to comment again on the insecurity in Nigeria. Because if for 7 years this regime has been given the opportunity to deal with insecurity, and we are still discussing this, I don't know what to expect again. All right, I'm not holding brief for anyone. Shehu Gaba responded that the government will do everything to. When? These are the questions. The Sultan has appealed, people have appealed, district heads have been killed. Even the state of the president himself, Katsina State, is not safe. School children, do you know how many schools have been shot in the northern part of the country? So, it's a serious case. So the big question is this government interested in restoring security? Service chiefs have been changed. We have purchased the Tucano jet. A court has pronounced bandits as terrorists so that the Tucano jets can be used against them. What else do we need? They say that they need security is everybody's business. People have been volunteering information and everything. But you see, the elders have a saying that the man was going on the way and said, you, look at what you are carrying on your head. It's bent to one side. And the person said, my leg also is bent to one side. So there are foundational issues. And that's why I made reference to the case of Ghana the other time. You see, when nations of the world are seeking for highly skilled immigrants to come and drive their economies, generate wealth for their people, and make life meaningful, our president went to Egypt and said immigrants are welcome to Nigeria from Africa to obtain visa on arrival. And some of us were monitoring. And they came in their droves. And they were registered as citizens. And that is why the former Chief of Army Staff, Buratai, said at the time that about 90% of the bandits or whatever description he had for them in Nigeria are Nigerians. That is correct because they were registered. Sir, the Nigerian customs disclosed that they gave rise to bandits. Why should I see criminals, sir, coming into my estate where I live and I buy soft drinks for them, buy meat pie for them? Hey guys, go and take it. I mean, we need serious intervention. And that is why I will not divorce myself from the revelations of 2 prominent Nigerians. Firstly, General Theophilus Danjuma, retired, who said, as an expert in the area of security, knowing the offices he held in Nigeria,
that there may be an ethnic cleansing agenda. And we ask the questions. Those who are internally displaced, are they not replaced in their communities? To attend to that, a panel was set up, probe, what is the end of the probe? And again, a man who was a military head of state, a civilian president, came out that there is a Fulanization agenda against Nigeria, an Islamization agenda against West Africa. So when you begin to read and hear about Islamic State of West Africa province, what else are you searching for? What else are you searching for? And that is why you have a government, to prevent. But it appears as if we condone all this, because I don't want to join the class of those who are asking how many of these bandits have been convicted in court. But I leave those questions to the lips of many Nigerians. You see, the capacity is there. How much did we spend on the Tucano jet? You mentioned it, sir, with all the budgetary allocation. And another school of thought is that it is business for some. In fact, the former chief of army staff, Buratai, said at the time that we may be in this terrorism business
Yes, I was
for
coming
20
to that.
years.
Yes, I was coming to that.
So some of us listen to these comments and we digest them, we evaluate, and look at what happened in Afghanistan. At a time, the world was trying to help them, but eventually, the Taliban took over. They were patient about it. At a time, they ran into the caves and everything. I think there was a time Donald Trump went to deploy the mother of all bombs that America invested so much in. But those guys were in the cave, they came out of the cave and things like that. Look at what happened in Syria recently. You know, where the kingpin of ISIS was taken out. And today, even the National Security Advisor said it, that they have also identified sponsors of these people, that they are from the Great Sahara. You know, so if people from the Sahel region are so interested in Nigeria, and they are claiming they don't want to overrun Nigeria, what is their interest? What is their interest?
Let's look specifically at issues in Niger State. You know that I think a week or two ago, the governor came out to say that 7 local government areas have been overrun by these terrorists, and that he needs government intervention, that these people have taken over a large portion of the space in that state. And funny enough, Garba Shehu has come out to say that no territory is under any terror group in Nigeria.
You know,
So it's a series of deniers.
Yes,
No,
a series of
it's
denials.
not
And even
denial.
the president came out last week to still say that the security force should put in more effort.
It's not
more and
denial.
more.
It's not denial at the global level. You see, we have the concept of psychology here. We have philosophy. If, for instance, and please, with all due respect, I do not mean to castigate anyone. If, for instance, I am the friend and the captain of the area boys in Lagos, and you point at an area boy that you useless boy, I will counter you. That is my action man. So we see things differently. If 7 human beings touch the elephant at different points, some will touch the husk, some will touch the tail, some will touch the body, and describe them differently. So we see different pictures in Nigeria. So if my mind is inclined to terrorism, I will be seeing victory and supporting that campaign. But if my mind is geared towards security, I will be seeing differently. And that is what is going on here. Some may want to choose to position it as denial. Maybe it is. But for those who are making these claims, they are not denying.
But
They are in utopia.
For this complaint to come from the governor, the overseer of the state, should it be taken
Did-
lightly?
What of Governor Zulu?
Governor
And that's what we are.
El Rufai,
We've been
those governors.
No. I don't want to discuss El Rufai.
Okay.
How? Why?
It's a deep one. And we are gate setters. Please sit down, and if necessary, rise up and look at the new policy in Kaduna State. We may be discussing it in the future. The 4-day working policy. Go and study it. So for the crisis in Kaduna, it's separated. And I have said it before. The governor rose up
That's
And
Niger, we are
no,
back
no,
to
no,
Niger
Kaduna.
State.
No, no, I'm still in
Okay,
Kaduna
Niger
now.
State.
You've not given me flight ticket back to Niger State. The governor said towards 2019 election that if foreign observers unduly observe, that they will go back in body bags, and you are complaining about violence in such an environment. I mean, let's be realistic. And again, on content analysis, someone said in this country, in 2011, we have post-2011 elections violence, and said if this election is rigged in 2015, as perceived to have been rigged in 2011, he will soak the dogs and baboon in blood. And Baraje said that criminals were imported into this country towards 2015 election. These things are documented, sir.
So
Yeah,
if it-
and someone said also, sir, you can go and Google it. It was on Liberty Radio, 2013. That clamp down on Boko Haram is injustice to the North. So you now find a nation fighting herself. It's unexplainable. It's unexplainable, and we are sitting on enormous wealth. Little wonder we are described as the capital of poverty. I'm not in capital of poverty. I'm blessed. So when you put all this together, you realize that there is a strong need for rebirth in Nigeria. That this country becomes a new country, maybe United States of Nigeria or something that will make us to begin to enjoy. Because God is laughing at us. How can we have the largest deposit of proven gas in Africa and we are poor? How can my nation be spending 100 billion naira to maintain dead refineries? Why should dollar be 570 in a country so rich like this? Gold is, and criminals are flying our gold out with private jets. These things are documented. I'm not imagining them. We research them, we study them. So it's such a troubling reality.
If you were in that seat, yes, if you were in that seat, that's Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I know you'll be so concerned. You will not want the country to go up in flames under your administration. I mean, you have said so much on today's program, but let's look at specifically where do we actually really need to begin? Where do we need to start from to actually tackle these issues? Because we are talking of 2023 elections, where we can only conduct elections in an atmosphere of peace. I mean, he's talking about 7 local governments being under the territory of Boko Haram.
What about regions
Is
where they are
that
already
where-
collecting
how
taxes
do you-
from people?
So, what kind of election would that produce, for instance, in those 7 local governments? Even in Yobe State, Borno, Adamawa, Kaduna, I mean, we may not have said, but there are some local governments that are equally threatened. So, how do we conduct 2023 elections in this kind of... And
You
it can
know,
even go
a
worse.
nation that focuses on elections as the basic bailout is in serious trouble. We should be focusing on good governance. On good governance. I mean, that's my concern. So, someone will tell me now that I need to wait for 4 years again. Even the elections we are talking about, by the 1978 Mexican statement about public relations, it is the art and social science of monitoring trends and predicting their consequences. If you can see now, the police that should handle internal security is already overwhelmed. Even the military is stretched, and I commend their efforts. So towards 2023, when if this crisis escalates, we now be begging the military to come and take over communities to rescue us from bandits and terrorists. So what kind of election are we likely to have? I'm just thinking aloud. And at this point, I'm addressing governors. The governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, whom I admire so much, already disclosed that criminals are after him. So if we are in a state and governor is afraid, then who should not be afraid? Mr. Banji? Who should not be afraid? These are questions, sir. So you have within your country, with over 40 security agencies, players that can bring down a fighter jet. And you are telling us you know those who are sponsoring them. I think that is why when some of us take it all to God, they should allow us to take it back to God, because man appears, even our president has said he's overwhelmed. Then what is the essence of that office? Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. The reference I made to Ghana, it was the police head that gave the order, not even the president. That you see them, you blast them. But what do we have here? No, don't retaliate. You need to find a way to live together. How can I find a way to live together with a criminal? There are mosquitoes in your room, and you are telling your wife, no, don't spray don't spray insecticide. Just go and sleep like that. In fact, switch off the fan. And malaria comes now. You are complaining about malaria. You see, so, but then Nigeria is a great nation. God loves us so much in this country, and I've always said it that there shall be rejoicing in this land again. Right now, people are stretched, but then you elders have a saying that it's this stretching that strengthens your bones and your muscles. So we are very resilient people, but then the narratives will change.
You're very optimistic.
So I wish all the governors the best, but please wake up, and shine your eyes.
So you're saying the next few days or weeks we should just wait for whatever will come out of this.
I'm not telling you to wait. There may be other issues. What has happened to some gunmen went to the house of Honorable Justice Odili. Thank God for that woman, they didn't kill her. What have we brought out of it? Wadumen, the kingpin kidnapping suspect that was arrested by Nigerian policemen. Soldiers waylaid them on the way, killed the Nigerian policemen, took this suspect, released him from handcuffs, set him free to the society. So what are we talking about? A man complained in the military about, equipment. He was demoted now. We read these things now. We've had military people say, when the attack was going, they told us not to go and attack. So if anybody is deceiving anybody, Sunday we know the truth. I said it. When some people were throwing bombs in Lagos, killed Kudirat, Abiola and everything, they said they didn't know them. But we knew them now. Some of them were revealed by God, Rogers and all of them. So have you succeeded in killing the whole of Nigerians? So what we are saying is that let's unite as a people. The crude oil does not speak any language. The gold in Zamfara is for everybody. There is wealth in this land. Before we discovered oil, our Greeks supported us. And we did very well. You see, UAE discovered oil in 1958. They have transformed from what do you call this, Sahara or whatever, desert to paradise. Nigeria discovered oil in 1956. We are still in poverty. We cannot even maintain refineries. So who is fooling who? But this will not remain the portion of this great nation forever. But blessed is that regime that allows God to use their own time to restore security, joy, rejoicing, prosperity to this land. Because that is what we deserve.
All right, I think that's the right way to...
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us to talk about the issue of insecurity this morning. And that's where we'll end the first segment today, talking about insecurity and the discovery of 96 sponsors of Boko Haram. We'll transit now to the second segment, but please, we'll go on a quick break. Don't go away, we'll be right back.
Welcome. You're currently on DSTV Compact. Ready to step up?
Let's do it!
Congratulations! DSTV has stepped you up to DSTV Premium. Enjoy all your favorite channels like a boss.
Step up to the next level on us. Upgrade your current DSTV package and we'll step you up to the next highest package at no extra cost.
Okay, welcome back. Good to have you still with us. Right now we are talking about the Ekiti governorship primaries, matters arising or issues arising. And joining us, we have a journalist and a public affairs analyst, Mr. Bola Ole. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure to have you, and we just swing into action almost immediately. The Ekiti governorship elections, APs, that's All Progressive Congress, and the People's Democratic Party, that both parties have conducted their primaries, and we've seen the candidates of those two parties. For APC, we have Yodu Ibanji, and that of PDP, we had BC Kolawole. Both of them are strong party stalwarts as of both parties. But there are wranglings in that state. Or maybe I should just ask, let me not presume that I know. You witnessed the primaries. What's your view about the emergence of these two candidates of these two political parties?
Thank you very much. I follow events everywhere, and I follow in Ekiti. I know a lot of the dramatic personnel in Ekiti. I know Governor Fayemi, I know former Governor Fayoshe, and I know a lot of the gladiators, the aspirants, whether it is Fayemi Bamidele or it is Adeyeye or it is Olujimi or BCK or a lot of them. You see, or Shegun Oni, the people I have mined and dined with before. The problem is that many of these people have come a long way with one another. They have been friends, they have been enemies. They have belonged in the same camp, they have scattered and they have fought from against one another and belonging to different groups. If you don't know them, if you are an outsider, you don't know them, you will take them seriously when they say they are fighting. But if you know them, if you have seen how their paths are crisscrossed, you will know that these people are just fighting for resource control. They are just interested in positions. They one wants to outwit the other. If they see that this is the best way to do it today, they will follow that way. If they now see that, no, this is the other way to follow it, to do it, they will follow that way. The Fayoshe that supported the Leka in 2018, that put him over and above everybody, is the same person who dumped the Leka and who gave BCK. BCK was the DG of Eleka's campaign. We were in that campaign together, we were traveling all over the BCK was the chairman, was the DG of Eleka's campaign. Today, BCK and Eleka are like this. You expect Eleka to be able to say, this was the man who was my DG of my campaign. So let us, let me not fight with him. But that is not so. You expect BCK to say, this man tried the other time, he didn't make it. Now let us give you another opportunity because it was rigged out that time. But they are not doing that. You see, Opeyemi Bamidele took a bullet for Fayemi during Fayemi's own campaign. He was the one that was shot in the stomach. Then they said his 10 cents came out. He almost died. He spent how many months in abroad for Fayemi? He was DG of Fayemi's campaign. Now the same Fayemi is against Opeyemi Bamidele and is supporting another person against Opeyemi Bamidele. Adeyeye abused Fayoshe and left PDP and went to join APC, joined Fayemi to make Fayemi governor. Today is one of those that cannot even get the support of Fayemi. So when you look at all these way to do their things, Shegun Oni once supported Fayemi against Fayoshe. Shegun Oni had moved from party to party. Now he has moved to APGA again. You see, Olujimi was Fayoshe's PA before she was given a sitting House of Rep because senator and everything like that. The same Olujimi was commissioner for works for Shegun Oni. You see, Adeyeye was chairman of Superb Subeb under Segun Oni. So now ask yourself, where do these people actually belong?
All right, beyond the issue of relationship or what they might have done together in the past, there's serious allegations of that are very fundamental and capable of destroying democracy in our land. The issue of godfatherism. That those two elections, that's those two primaries, were more or less a game of godfatherism. For APC, it was alleged that the current governor, that's Fayemi's anointed candidate, emerged, and he began the process by ensuring that those who are loyal to his own camp were actually registered in the revalidation exercise of membership last year, and from there to the Congress, he ensured that his loyalists emerged winners of various positions. So he had actually perfected the plan to ensure that his own candidate emerges at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Same for PDP, that Fayose that you just mentioned, did everything to alienate other contenders to make sure that they have control of the structures. Now, what does that tell us? What have we actually? What kind of candidate do you think such processes would actually produce at the end of the day?
Unfortunately, that is how our politics is structured at the moment. The people who are complaining now, if they become the government, they will do exactly the same thing. They will want to impose their candidates. Look at their own antecedents. Any position that they had been to before, they got there through godfathers. Any one of them.
So it's a cycle.
Whether they were senators, they were House of Rep people, or whatever, they were commissioners, godfathers put them there. Now they are accompanying, they are talking about against godfathers. If they are the ones who are governors, I'm not supporting what Fayemi did, I'm not supporting what Fayose did.
Are you confirming that they did it?
Of course now. But if Fayose has explained why I supported BCK, why I dumped Eleka, he has said to, he has explained, he has given his reasons. You may agree, you may not agree. He has given his reasons. It's Fayemi that has kept quiet, that has not spoken, that I supported.
No, he has denied having an anointed candidate or aspirant.
But no, yes, but he has not said I did not support him. You know, watch the amount when they are talking. Like George Bush, President George Bush said, he said, read my lips, read my hips. So watch the amount when they say. They are very technical with what when they talk. So they may not tell you lies, but they may not say the truth. So when we're talking about godfathers, that is the way Nigerians politics at the moment is structured. Obasanjo said nobody can become president without people supporting, without people helping him. And when he said I helped Jonathan, he said me myself, how did I become president? People don't help me. If you have to say anybody who become governor, who become a governor without people helping. In Lagos, is it not the same? In Ogun State, is it not the same? Mention a governor that did not get there through godfathers. The governor that will tell you that Ibadan, is it not the same? How many governors will tell you that he got there without a godfathers?
But we have seen winners of elections in Nigeria that did not get the nod of the godfather, the so-called godfather.
It may not get
in Lagos State, not as a governor anyway.
He may not get the nod of a godfather, one particular godfather, but there are other godfathers. You see, it's not just one godfather. For instance, see now, in PDP, for instance, the former governor supported BCK, that is BC Kolawole. The previous election, he supported Eleka. He imposed Eleka on the people. Eleka was a university lecturer. It was Eleka's father that Fayose wanted to use as deputy. When he submitted the name of the man, when he got to their secretary, when he got to the national he said the man was too old. You can't bring an old man like this. So go and bring another person. So he came back to begin to look for who to bring. So the man he called the man, your name, he rejected you because of your age. So the man came. It's written in Fayoshi's biography. I wrote it. So
You wrote the biography?
Yes, yes. So I can tell you, I know what I'm talking about. That's from the horse's mouth. And Eleka is my friend. So the man came to thank governor. Thank you that you even submitted my name. In the process, the man received a phone call. Who is there? I said, doctor, okay, doctor. So Fayoshi said he thought it was a medical doctor that, thank God I did not even submit the name of this man. Somebody that medical doctor is trailing about now. So later when the man, Fayoshi said he left the room for the man to talk to his medical doctor. So later he came back and said, I hope there is no serious problem. He said, no, I'm talking to my son. You have a son who is a medical doctor? He said, no, he's a PhD holder. PhD holder. Where is he? He's in a University of Buffalo University, lecturer. He said, call him. So that was how he called Eleka. And Eleka came. And he said, immediately he saw the Eleka. The Spirit of God told him that this is your deputy. That was how Eleka became deputy. And all the other people who had been in the party, he was not a party man. All the other people who had been in the party, they kick against it. But for Eleka, it was good then. He didn't say it was Godfather. I mean, was it Godfather? Was it not Godfather? But it was okay. Isn't that so? But now that Godfather changed and picked another person, it becomes a problem. So it's like that with many of them. If Fayoshi had picked any of the other people complaining, they would not have been talking about Godfather. If Fayemi had picked any of the other people complaining, they would not have spoken about Godfather. I think both the Godfathers and the Godsons, everybody should agree that we should not have Godfathers again. Not that you criticize Godfather when it does not suit you, and you accept Godfather when it suits you. That type of hanky-panky is what I don't like in our politics. If we say Godfather is injurious to our politics, let us all agree that Godfather is injurious. Let nobody go and be holding the leg of Godfather. Let nobody go and be asking for the support of Godfather. Let everybody go there and campaign. Let everybody go there and sell themselves. Let everybody go there and tell the people what they want.
But even if this APC that adopted the direct primaries, it's supposed to be devoid of this rancor, this godfatherism thing. You know, but they adopted direct primaries, and then we still have these issues.
You see, that was why I said.
And don't forget that this same direct issue
exactly.
is what caused the delay of the electoral
yes.
They are just deceiving themselves.
So even is fraught. That even direct primary is fraught with problems.
When I wrote, I said that none of the two is foolproof. Direct primaries, indirect primaries, they are not foolproof. It is just that some people feel that we will have better advantage, better opportunity of actualizing our goal if we choose direct primaries. Indirect primaries, where you have ward election, you have this, you have that, just like the PDP had, the godfather or the people at the grassroots, the money bags, they have a likely tendency, whoever controls the grassroots, have an upper hand in deciding who the delegates will be. And once you have the delegates, like we saw in that election in PDP, you vote, you show the godfather your card, you say, oh, I voted in this direction, and then you go and collect your money, you know. So those people who are asking for direct primaries, they are usually the people in Abuja, the legislators, the presidential aides, who did not have, their eyes does not reach the grassroots. So their eyes do not reach the grassroots. So they believe that if they have direct primaries, everybody, the voters will be there for everybody to buy. We'll see somebody will not have the delegates and go and lock them up in one hotel. You know the delegates are, you have already made sure that it's your own people that are the delegates. You can pack all of them, take them to one hotel and lock them there so that your opponent will not even have access to them. But if it's direct primaries, when it's all party members that will find out, then you have a better chance of so that is the whole argument about direct or indirect primaries. It's not as if it's foolproof. It's not as if one is better than the other in ensuring credible elections. No, it is which one will give this particular advantage to this particular set of politicians.
There was a time in this country when between the chairman of a party and the governor, the chairman was even considered to be somebody much more powerful than even the governor. That the chairman of a party has a greater hold on the party structure than even the governor. But the reverse is the case now. Now, for you, I mean, the times of Chief Awolowo and all that is the chairman of the party. You know, the MPN of this world and all that. We knew chairmen of those parties were much stronger than the governor or president or whoever. Now, from your own benefit of hindsight, what do you think for us is good for us in this country? That's to get the right candidates produced from primaries and the right person winning elections.
See, the period you mentioned, there were periods when we had political parties.
What do we have now?
Now we don't have political parties. We only have platforms to contest election. What's a political party? I read political science. Politics is the coming together of like minds with the same ideology, with the same ideas, with the purpose. But the purpose is to snatch government, to take over government, to implement their shared values and ideas. Ideology is the basic about political parties. You are like minds. You think alike. You believe in the same ideology, the same ideas, and you want to go to government so that you can have the opportunity to implement. We saw the policy. We saw the four cardinal program of UPN. What is the program of APC? What is the program of PDP? Can you tell me that these are the programs of PDP? These are the programs of APC. These are the programs of ABGA. These are their cardinal programs. What are their cardinal programs? Can you say that these very few politicians have not crossed from one party to the other? Within how many hours did Segun Oni cross to ABGA?
Okay, that's for Segun Oni. Do you think he has the clout? He has defected to ABGA now. So what does he stand a greater chance in the party?
Yes, he stands his chance. You see, because personally, if we look at the policy of it, personally, a lot of people like Segun Oni.
Really?
Yes, a lot of people like Segun Oni because he is more level-headed and is more humble than the other godfathers. I know I only met Segun Oni on a few occasions. I'm closer to the others than to Segun Oni. But Segun Oni to people looks more humble, more respectful, would be more of a team player than the others. But does he have the resources? Does he have the resources? Because like we are trying to say, our politics have become the policy of money. It has been monetized. So that is why in those days you have members of parties were the ones financing the parties, paying party dues. Can you call the party members and tell them how much they are paying as dues every month to their parties? Now it is the party that is sponsoring the members. It is not the members that are sponsoring the party. So it is now the people who are controlling the party now, the money bags also have the money. So because they are the ones that have the money, the chairman of the party is in their pockets. It's unlike in the past, when the party chairman, the party secretary, the party elders are the ones that will determine what goes on in the party. But now it is the money bag that pays the party. All you need to do now is once you have your money, you cross where you call the people who are registered the party. You think you will just cross to a party just like that? You pay some money, and then they bring in you, and they make you the flag bearer of the party. Money has changed hands. Money must change hands, and then they see the possibility that if you win the election, you become their governor, their party. Then they can eat something, and we have seen it happen before. Mimiko crossed over to Labour and won in Labour. And the Labour people, one of the party chairman, they were happy, they were running around the governor. After some time, he left the party and went back to where he came from. We have seen things like that happening. So now we don't have political parties in the real sense of the word. What we have now are just platforms where people just go, which is the better platform between these and
Chess.
and yes, which
Chess
one
game.
gives me the better advantage for me to be able to achieve what I want to achieve. So, okay, if I cannot get the ticket of this one, I can cross to this place and get the ticket. So that is what is happening now. So we have
All right.
platforms, not parties.
Okay, now this issue of, oh sorry, our time is up, so we can just quickly answer that.
Okay.
This issue of setting up reconciliatory committees.
The
You know, after you
reconciliation-
know what you have done is bad, you know that you can still fall back to putting together a reconciliatory committee. Is this going to help our democracy in the long run?
Normally, there is nothing bad in reconciling people.
Aggrieved members.
Even among ourselves as individuals. we have
When I
friends
know
who
that I've
really
imposed to my candidate,
Yes, because the other
so I
person.
know that I'll get away with it. All
The
I
other-
need to do is just set up a reconciliatory committee.
Yes, the other person will do similarly if he's in that position.
Wow.
So they will do, they know themselves. They will do similarly if they're in the same position. So the reconciliation is a matter of saying, come, let us see how we can settle you. It's settlement. Reconciliation is settlement.
Oh, it's about
It's
what,
about settlement.
okay,
How
take
much
this.
did you spend?
Hey.
Also, come, what did you spend? So how can we, okay, what position? Okay, when we win, we'll give you 2 commissioners, we'll give you one to say advisor.
So
Okay,
it's
you spend 800 million, okay, take 1 billion. So they know, because all of them know. If the people who are complaining are the ones who have the upper hand, they will do
You
similarly.
also set up
They will also
reconciliation.
set us really similarly. So in our parties, it is the person who is faster than the other.
So what lessons are we taking from these primaries? I mean, to the national level, our 2020 general election around the corner. Are we saying that money is going to dictate who becomes our president in 2023 or who becomes the governors of those other states?
Did you know here, Ojikalu said that Tinubu cannot outspend
Outspend
it?
it, yeah.
You are still asking whether money is going to the
No, I'm
family
asking,
water.
I need to know.
It is money. It is money. There have you not been seeing photographs of vehicles, of the armament for 2023? Have you not been seeing bags of rice that have been labeled for 2023? You are saying, is a poor man, will a poor man become a president?
We really need to go now.
It's
Thank
money.
you so
It's
much.
money politics.
Thank you so much, sir. for
But,
sharing
why
with
did you
us.
not
We
have
need
the
to go.
billions?
Let them hear
But some
cause
people spend the billions on his
of-
behalf.
We need to
So
go.
who spend billions on the
Yes.
All right, thank you so much, sir, for joining us this morning,
It's my
talking
pleasure.
about Ekiti primaries. Thank you, sir. My name is Jumoke Michaels. We'll see you again on Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Well, my name is Banji Busari. See you again Wednesday. Thank you.